What a mess. This is all ground cover that previous owners put along the entire length of this fence, and I have been battling it ever since. It's all inside my raised beds, but for whatever reason it's not here, so must have conquered it here. Now those are little trees that planted themselves. I'm gonna get those out. So I got to clean up this mess so I can plant my veggies. My employee / helper is Tasha today. She is my neighbor's dog. I thought these were gonna just bloom purple, but they actually bloomed purple and white. So pretty. One of the stalks is broken there. I think I'm gonna clip these ones that I see and put them in a vase. You can't see it now, but earlier I showed you really tall dead branches. I cut them down to nothing now. You can see them in there. This is a hibiscus plant, and my neighbor gave it to me. It was in her yard, and she's got one over here. She cut hers back maybe a while ago, and look at it. Look how big it's gotten. It gets giant, and of course hibiscus bushes get gigantic flowers on them. They're beautiful, so I can't wait for that. So it's possible that all of this lily of the valley might be choking out that plant, so I might yank some of those plants from around it. And then of course I still have to trim up my Dusty Miller. I didn't get my mulch yet, but I've been cleaning up the mess. I started this video out with what a mess, and now it's starting to look so much better. It's been weeded. And then up here I transplanted some bulbs, some tulip bulbs that were behind my veggie garden bed, my raised beds. I transplanted them here. Those are from last year. I'm surprised they came back in this area. It's way too shaded. So I'm gonna have to dig those up and move them. I might move them right here, and then I'll just have a little grouping of tulips right there. And then this is an Easter lily, the kind that you get at the grocery store. They cost a couple bucks. They come in a little paper covered container. And once you plant these, now this is the one that gets really tall and gets the white blooms on it. After it grows for a while, it starts shooting out babies, little babies all over, and I'm going to be able to transplant those babies to wherever I want, or I can give them away to my friends. That's the other thing with gardening, is you can always trade plants or give away plants. I'm part of some Facebook gardening groups, and one happens to be in the town I'm in, and then there's other ones that are, you know, like all over the state and all over the country and all that. For instance, I have way too many, these multiplied like crazy, way too many of these yellow irises. And then of course I just found out that I have the purple and white ones down there that are too close to the house. I need to move those out from the house, more in the middle of the garden. But some of these, I might dig these up, put them in a bag, put them on the curb, put a message out to my local Facebook group, gardening group, and say, hey, come and get them, free plants. And what I'm going to ask for in exchange is whether or not they have any bulbs. I'll take any type, hyacinths, daffodils, tulips of any color. I'm not picky with the colors. So that's my plan. I cleaned up the mess over here, and you might be like, wait a sec, those are leaves. Why are they in there? I always put leaves in my raised beds. If you've ever done like the deep mulch type of gardening, this contributes to that. I am going to put topsoil on top of that, but the ground underneath it is already very rich soil. That's because I put a ton of kitchen compost in my raised beds. Even the dirt around it, as I was pulling the weeds, and I planted a whole bunch of flowers along the edge there. That'll be for another video. There was so many worms earthworms, and I am so happy to see the worms. So what did I plant in here? I went really low-key this year. Cherry tomatoes, red ones. This is parsley. This is parsley. A patio tomato in here. That is mint from last year. And yellow tomatoes. The yellow pear, the little ones, in here. Just 2 plants in there. In here I have 3 plants that are kale and 1 basil. And then I have green bell peppers here. And then these are Italian, like the roaster style peppers. I decided to put them more in the shady area because my peppers tend to do better when they'll get the morning sun and even a little bit of afternoon sun, and then they'll get like an evening shade. Thank you, Mr. Blue Jay, for cleaning out my gutters. I'm going to do something a little bit different with my portulacas this year. I usually put them into like a container of some sort, but this year I'm going to plant them directly in the ground. I'm going to put them in a somewhat shady area, and we'll see how they do. This is another area of my, what a mess. Look at all the weeds. I have to get to this area, but I want to get these in the ground. It's going to rain soon, and I want to get them all planted so that it gets a good amount of rain. It's good for Mother Nature to water the plants than it is for me. I'm going to dig out these few weeds because I'm going to put the portulacas right in here. I tried doing snapdragons, and as you can see, only that one came back. The rest didn't, so they didn't make it. It could be because of the pine trees. When those pine needles come down, it gives the soil, I think, a little bit of acidity, so maybe some of my plants don't like it. The hosta doesn't mind at all. Look how beautiful that is. So let me get my tool and I'll start digging holes and get these planted. I watered them this morning along with all my other plants before I even decided I was going to plant them today. But I kept thinking I got to get them out of those containers and get them somewhere. The ones that you buy from the garden center. So here they are. I got 3 on this side and 3 on this side. Already loving the colors. And I hope they go to seed. I know when the flowers die, there'll be like a little pod with all the seeds, and I'm just gonna throw them all over the ground, and hopefully they come back next year and I'll have like sort of like a perennial. If not, I have to save those seeds, maybe in an envelope, and then plant them in the spring next year. And hopefully they come back. But I think I'm liking this. As you can see, it gets a little bit of sun here. It is kind of early afternoon at the moment. The last step is to water them again. Uh-oh, I knocked that one down. I'm going to have to kind of prop him back up. So what I do is I water them when I put them in the ground, and then I come back an hour or so from now and I water them again. This is an orange azalea. They are really rare. If you ever see one, make sure to get it. This one is my neighbor's, and it blooms so beautiful every spring. One thing I like to do, and I think just about every gardener likes to do, is come out and inspect their babies. Turns out I have more of these purple irises. I must have moved some. There's another one. And another one right there. I must have moved them from down there to up here. And now I have those along with my yellow ones. I still have to get my clippers out and clip all the dead parts away from my plants. So I'm still working on it. But look how fast everything's growing, how tall everything's getting. I pulled out some of the lily of the valley so that this plant can get some sun. That's the hibiscus. Look how pretty they look, just all laying there. It's too close to the house. So I do need to dig all of these up and move them out more into the center of the flower bed so that they can actually stand up. They're reaching for the sun, and that's why they're all laying down. But look how pretty. I still have to get mulch. I'm waiting for the mulch to go on sale. And then I will fill in here. I wanted to come back out here to inspect these babies that I just put in, the Portulacas. And I can see either a squirrel or a chipmunk is digging these little holes right next to each one. I saw a squirrel in my hanging basket up there, that orange one. Not sure why he was in that. So I'm going to put some more mulch here when I get the mulch. Fill that in. Thank you for watching.